There we go. All right, thanks. We are the Alloy Horn Quartet. We are based in Chicago, and we are so honored to be here at IHS, and thank you so much to IHS for making all of this possible. It's been wonderful so far. That piece that we just played was a piece that I arranged because I am a big fan of a Finnish band called Frigg, and that's one of my favorite tunes of theirs. So I think it sounds great for horn quartet. Our next piece is by Frigg Hidas, a Hungarian composer. Some of you may have heard of him. I think actually in one of the recitals yesterday, someone was playing his trio. He wrote prolifically for brass and for wind instruments of all sorts. I actually wrote down, I wrote down his he wrote 20 works for concert band, 10 works for orchestra, and 6 works for chorus, 6 works for stage, and 60 chamber works for winds and strings. And I think I've only heard a few brass works, so there's so much of his music to explore if you seek it out. So enjoy this piece by Hungarian composer Hidas.
Yeah. Give it a second. There we go. Thank you. Where else among a group of horn players can you frack the last note of a piece and feel right at home, right? So we are the Alloy Horn Quartet. For those of you who don't know us, I would like to introduce my colleagues here. We have Dana, immediately to my left, Dana Sherman, Kelly Langenberg there in the middle, Anna Jacobson on the end, and I am Liz Deitemyer. We tried really hard. We thought about what sort of program you all would like, and we aimed for a lot of variety and some new pieces, which we will be premiering a little bit later in our program. But we also wanted some palate cleansers. We know that last one was a little intense. So we're going to move on with a piece by Isaac Albeniz, who is a Spanish composer. He was born in the late 19th century, and he just wrote this beautiful, beautiful, like Spanish folk music. And this piece is especially dear to us because it really sings on the horn nicely. So we're going to continue with some easy listening on this one. Thanks so much. This next piece is a really special one for me because my teacher for my undergraduate degree at the University of Wisconsin-Madison wrote it. And this is going to be a premiere of this piece, so you're in for a special treat. Just as we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of IHS, Doug Hill is celebrating his 50th anniversary from when he started teaching collegiately. Doug Hill, although he doesn't need much introduction, I would like to thank him from the horn community for all of his contributions to both the horn literature and also horn pedagogy. So I would like to welcome to the stage Douglas Hill to introduce this next piece.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, Dana asked me to say just a couple words. We all know why. Just a guess, just a guess. No, I wrote this piece last fall, mostly because I had written a melody that I kind of liked. And it kept going through my head, worming through my head. So this melody became the beginning of a quartet. And we've decided that they're going to demonstrate the melody, so you should listen really closely to what this melody sounds like, as it will be important as you hear the quartet. Okay, did you hear that? Let's all sing it together. Kind of a disjunct, sort of a little jazzy tune. But what I decided to do was to take this melody and weave individual notes into each other, and as the notes sustain, the harmonies, the shimmering harmonies, develop from whichever note that person, last person stopped on, the next person continues the melody. So you'll hear the melody through, but the melody causes the harmony. And it was a kind of an experiment on my part, and sort of fun to work on with that in mind. So I want you all to picture all of the mirages you have ever known. Okay, think about what a mirage is. Shimmering images, reflecting off of each other, and created with a lot of hot air.
killed it, right? Oh, so awesome. Well, it's doubly special this evening because we're actually going to hear 2 new pieces. And last fall, when Jean Berger contacted us to see if we would be interested in performing this week, of course we said yes. That was super exciting for us. This is really just a huge honor, by the way, to be playing for you this evening and sharing our music. But we decided very, very early on that we wanted to commission a new piece of music to celebrate this occasion, to celebrate it for us, and to contribute something to our Horn Society. So a colleague of mine, we asked him if he would compose a piece for horn quartet. I knew that he had never composed a piece for horn quartet before, although he's written lots of brass and lots of band music, and a horn concerto as well. But I thought it would be really great to bring in a new voice, welcome him into our community. And he's here this evening, and I just would like him to come talk just one moment about the piece you're going to be hearing. So Dr. Bough, would you come on up, please?
Thank you so much. Actually, thank yous are the first thing on the list. So a thank you to Alloy. Really flattered by their invitation and really humbled by it. I've admired Doug Hill's music for a long time. I haven't been teaching 50 years, but I am 50. That's not close, sorta. Anyway, so thank you to Alloy. Really appreciate their courage in bringing this forward. Thank you to the International Horn Society and the Ryman Commissioning Fund that helped make this work possible. I mean, as a composer, it's really exciting to get paid. So, thank you, really. And my wife thanks you, my children, anyway. Thank you to Yamaha. I am a Yamaha performing artist on tuba, which is like F tuba is kind of like bass horn. So it's in F. Anyway, thank you to Yamaha and thank you to Northern Illinois University that all contributed to help bring me out. So as Kelly said, she was kind enough when she joined our faculty 2 years ago. And by the way, she's absolutely invigorated the horn studio, bigger, better, more active than ever. When she joined our faculty, she was kind enough to perform my horn concerto, with the wind symphony I conduct, and must have liked what she heard because she convinced her colleagues to, invite me to commission this piece for you guys. So really excited about that. They hosted a fundraising concert at Kelly's house in Chicagoland. And when I heard them play live, 3 things stuck out. The first was just amazing articulation, and we've heard that tonight. They start the notes in a way that's just really, really beautiful. The second thing was this amazing ability to weave lines through the ensemble, which again, we heard so well on the Hidas, and I thought, I can use that. And the third thing was that Liz is a just beast of a horn 4 player, and she's incredible. I mean, absolutely amazing. And so I was listening to her warm up and she went low and then she went lower and then it got louder and my tuba player's heart started beating. I thought, I know what we're writing in this piece. So I have this crazy notion that a commission should reflect the unique skills and talents of the individuals that paid for the piece. And so absolutely we're making the most of Liz on that, and Kelly has these incredible high chops and putting that to work, and the ability of the ensemble to just play these really complex rhythmic patterns. All of that started to come together in my head. Well, when you start a piece, you can't go wrong with Bach. So the harmonic progressions are based on a Bach chorale, Vater in uns Himmel gerecht, our Father in heaven. And the nice thing with Bach is, when in doubt, just write what he wrote. People think you're brilliant, and it works. It's worked well for me for a number of pieces. So the piece actually starts with this wonderful articulative thing, and again, when you think about the horn, like the ability to get in and out of the stopped sounds quickly, that's unique, that's special. So that happens in the very first movement. The name of the piece, Alloy, well, there you go. And the 7/6/4/5 reflects the time signature changes. So the first section is in 7, as you might imagine, which again, with the stopped horn and all sorts of articulation fun, The 6 is really interesting because you can have both the 3 side or the 2 side, and of course we contrast those two and at times juxtapose them, so that's really fun. The 4 came from Kelly. When we were talking about the piece, she said, oh, and it should have a funk section. Awesome! So funk is, at least to me, has to be in 4, so there's a funk section. And then of course, you state the chorale. It's Bach, you have to state the chorale somewhere. And then, of course, it's kind of a rondo form, so all of those things start coming back in a really, what I hope is interesting and engaging way. Thank you so much for letting me be part of this. Alloy, thank you. Don't they sound fantastic?
That one is available here at IHS to purchase, just FYI, if you want it. And you do. The next piece we're going to be performing for you is kind of rare. So this is a special treat by Mario Castelnuovo Tedesco. Really cool story about how I got this music because it's out of print. You know, at the end of the school year, when the library, the music library is selling all of the stuff that no one checked out for like 3 years. So it was the end of the school year, and this was like, I'm not going to say how long ago it was because that would give away my age, but it wasn't recently. So I'm walking by the table and I see this like kind of crappy written music, and I'm like, oh, look at that, it's a horn quartet, and the pages were tattered and it was a little bit hard to read. But I thought, you know, maybe someday I'll be able to play this piece of music. I knew that I was not capable at the time. But I bought it anyway because it was 25 cents. So, and now it's out of print. So that was a good buy on my part, I can't lie. So anyway, just a little bit about Mario Tedesco. This is the only quartet that he wrote. It's dedicated to Joseph Eager in the Los Angeles Horn Club. It was premiered in 1954 and published in 1956. It was never recorded by the LA Horn Club on the 2 CDs that they did. So unfortunately, I actually don't really know of a really great recording, so maybe that's our next project, guys. So anyway, the piece is Choral with variations. Starts with a chorale, and there are 7 variations altogether. It is an absolutely charming piece of we're talking about the golden age of horn, and I think this piece really satisfies that. There's so many beautiful moments and just glory for the horn. So we hope you enjoy this one.
Thanks. We want to give a huge thank you to IHS and everybody who put in so much work for this symposium, and it's such an amazing experience and really beautiful to see all of these people together enjoying music in the horn. So thank you to IHS. Thank you also to Jean Berger, who did a tremendous job organizing and hosting. We would like to invite you to our lecture that we're doing on Saturday. It is called Zoom Out, and we're talking about taking a wider approach to being a professional musician and how we can encompass a lot of variety and a lot of excitement and a lot of how we can evolve to have a satisfying career as a professional musician. So we're going to end. You guys are troopers. I know this is a long concert. We have one more for you. It's super fun, I promise, and it's actually going to feature Anna improvising. So.